What's up? It's Cody from the Keepers of Nerddom. How y'all doing? I thought today we need to talk about something pretty epic that's been happening, and several other YouTubers have been talking about it. And I think it's fair to give my thoughts on it as well because it's pretty big for DC. We have got a serious problem in DC right now, and the issue at hand is this: they're canceling all of their actors except for the ones that have needed to be for a long time. We still have Ezra Miller, as far as we know, is still in stuff because he's younger, I guess. Bizarre thing. It's crazy because they okay. Spoilers here, right? There's a scene in a recent thing at the end that shows that Henry Cavill is finally back for DC. And if you've been on the internet for like more than 5 minutes, we've got a serious issue in that DC is also going. Henry Cavill's actually canceled again, and needless to say, it's not good. So they've really messed themselves up pretty bad with DC because Henry Cavill is canceled again. He was a champ to resign in a very kind way, but then the news came shortly after that with Black Adam that in fact, we're gonna adjust just a little bit here. There we go. News came from Black Adam that they're gonna cancel The Rock as well, and some people are going, well, he's getting old, so yeah, he probably should be canceled. But you just made a movie about Black Adam with The Rock as the character, so there comes a point where you go, maybe this is a bad idea. This is a seriously bad idea because, okay, let's talk about DC first. Is DC a mess? Yes, DC has been an absolute mess. It is awful. It's terrible. It's not working. It's got one movie will be okay or even good, like Aquaman, right? Or even Man of Steel was a decent movie. It has some issues, right? But they have good movies sometimes mixed in with their movies, but then they go just completely down south. Like as far as just they plummet. They absolutely plummet. They don't do well. And what to say about that? Like, it's so frustrating watching DC trying to fast forward itself to keep up with Marvel, as Marvel's now slipping on itself too. But they tried to speed up. They tried to do things that they weren't ready for, and they messed up their entire legacy and things. And just now, as we've got Henry Cavill, who's a great actor for this. We've got Jason Momoa for Aquaman. We have Gal Gadot for Wonder Woman, who's fantastic. Ezra Miller needs to go away because of the things he's doing in real life, and people would understand and be okay with it. Is it Zachary Levi for Shazam? I think so. And I love that actor. Like, he's so good in the spy show, Chuck. Fantastic character, right? They've got the perfect person for this role. And then, even Ben Affleck for Batman wasn't a fan whenever the announcement first came out, and yet he actually has done well. And really the best thing to say about him is he's a really good Bruce Wayne, not necessarily the best Batman, but that's always kind of the fun evaluation. And so that's the reality that you can just have with them. Who else do we have as far as the things? Like, we haven't had a Green Lantern yet, so that's not cast. Would I love to see Nathan Fillion as Hal Jordan? Yes, I would. Ryan Reynolds. That's been long enough now that it doesn't match up with stuff that, unfortunately, that makes sense. But when you keep changing things every 2 years and whatnot, it's time to just not do that. Like, that's a bad decision. That is a very bad decision. And so what we've got here is an interesting situation that DC's got to figure out. And unfortunately, they're figuring out is, let's just completely, with James Gunn, rip it all apart. I think Zachary Snyder proved that a darker film universe can work, that we would be excited about it when they released the Snyder cut of the Justice League film. Like, it was actually way better. It was longer, but it was better, and that's okay. What are they doing? And unfortunately, DC is just going to continue to tick off their audience. It's like Star Wars with new Star Wars stuff, that some people have fallen crazy in love with it, and then there's a lot of us, myself included, that just went, this is copy and paste stuff, and I'm upset and I'm out. And even when we've tried to hang in with some of the other shows that have been good, like Mandalorian, it's unfortunate because I haven't watched Andor yet because they've lost my interest, and DC has done that over and over. And these announcements lose my interest when you have a Superman who is ready for the role, who hasn't had some life-altering injury to end his career as Superman. And people are saying, oh, he's getting too old. No, he's not. Henry Cavill looks fine for this role. He is perfectly okay to do this, and he is a great Superman. He has the Clark Kent. He has the Kal-El. He has it all. And unfortunately, we just live in this time right now where everything is silly. And they have the perfect Wonder Woman. They have a great Aquaman. They have a great Superman. They have honestly, I'd say a pretty good Batman. They just have a bad Flash. They have a great Shazam. They have a great Black Adam. If anything I could say about the Black Adam movie, it's just that they're portraying Black Adam more as an anti-hero rather than a full-on villain, right? Which, okay. I would still really like to see him full-on villain because it's awesome. But they were playing with that at times too, right? Because, he's just straight up killing people, and it's kind of funny to watch because you're like, oh, geez. But DC just needs to do one thing, and it's just put out a movie that makes sense, that operates well, that has some humor in it, that has a darker tone, and go with it. It's okay. It's fine. Because the Zack Snyder cut still had humor in it, and it was good. It was fascinating. It was so much better than the Joss Whedon cut. And what is DC doing? Like, let me know down in the comments below. Where are you at with all the DC announcements? Like, the Henry Cavill blow, that was huge. And then a few days later, The Rock is saying, I'm out too, essentially. And it might happen later, which basically is political speak for probably not ever. And we're just going to pretend like there's something coming, but there's not. And, let me know down in the comments below. What are you feeling about the DC universe right now? Because at this point, I'm thinking that the DC universe, you just died, is just completely and entirely wrecked, and them resetting. Obviously, if they reset, it's wrecked and they're starting over. But I think it's going to wreck itself again because it's so sudden, so fast. There's no gap of time because we just had Black Adam this summer, just now. And watching that movie, like, is it the best movie? No. But does it work? Does it have good points in it? Yeah, it's fine. It's good. It's not a bad movie. What are they doing? I guess this is really compounded with these announcements and then being at home for a little bit of break for Christmas stuff, watching DC cartoons. Their cartoons are so awesome, and yet one of the things that makes their cartoons in ways really awesome is most of them are not connected with each other. They have very little direct connection to the stories of other things. And so they have a very loose, like, here's a general plot of who's alive and who's not and who's doing what at this time. And beyond that, they just tell a story. Like, I watched one where Hal Jordan dies. And it was really good. It was a really good Green Lantern cartoon. Because it was a great story. And they went with this route of it's okay to be disconnected. And that's the funny thing, like, the DC extended universe was all about being just like Marvel and trying to speed it up years faster than they should have because they wanted that quick money. And Marvel was the slow burn, and now we're watching Marvel do the same thing where they're just go throw everything we can quick, and the stories aren't joined together in the same way with a big villain that we're leading up to, and it feels it. And there's also some of the woke politics issues as well. And so DC, if they just slowed down instead of just rebooting, they would be okay. And not just okay, we could have a Justice League 2 movie that you wouldn't call Justice League 2, right? You just call it Justice League Darkseid. Just a movie to let us watch Superman beat up Darkseid or Doomsday, right? But it's with the Justice League or even just a Superman movie. Like, come on, guys. That's where I'm at. This overall is just a really sad thing that they're shooting themselves in the foot, and then they're gonna make a movie finally in 2 or 3 years, right? So there's not gonna be any money for 2 or 3 years, except for movies that are already in production, such as like Aquaman and the Flash movie, right? And it's gonna take them a while to get anything going, and then they're gonna find out that their proceeds just drop like crazy because nobody cares, and they won't. Could you replace Henry Cavill? You can right now, but are you gonna have a good shot at it? The answer is no. In fact, people are going to look at him and go, yeah, he's aged out of the role, when he hasn't. Because that's going to be somebody's excuse, or they're going to try to use that at some point. But there's no gap of time at this point, really, other than the 2 or 3 years it's going to take to figure out the next movie and like get it moving. Henry Cavill's still going to be able to play Superman. And some people are like, oh, he should start playing like older Superman, like Kingdom Come. Like, we're not there yet. We are not anywhere near that yet. Give him another 5 films and then put some gray in his hair and let him do Kingdom Come Superman stuff. And let's do Ben Affleck still as that Batman, and let's have some fun with it, because that would be awesome, right? In fact, I think that's what I'm going to go watch for my next animated cartoon, is if they have a Kingdom Come, which I'm pretty sure they do. So yeah, let me know in the comments below. What are you thinking about the DC stuff? This is a mess. I mean, really, it kind of asks that question, like, what is DC on? What are they like smoking? Because it's obviously messing their brains up to the point where nothing that they are doing is making a lick of sense. It's like they find everything wrong with Marvel and they do the same thing but worse. It's bizarre. It's bizarre, and it's so sad because I love Superman movies. I love Batman movies. I love Green Lantern stuff. And all these other characters, like, I would love to have a cyborg-centric film. I would love to have a Teen Titans movie. I would love to have more stuff for DC, and unfortunately what we get is we're canceling everything and starting over again. Hello, people. Wake up. You don't need to do that. In fact, what you needed to do is the opposite. Just get better writers and directors, and you're going to have the most amazing, epic movies ever. And people will forgive the older ones. People would probably forgive replacing Ezra Miller with the Flash, or just, I don't know, we have multiple Flashes throughout the eras. Replace him. Because is this supposed to be Barry Allen Flash? I think. There's plenty of others, and I'm drawing a blank on the next Flash right after it, and I'm like, my brother's going to hate me for not being able to remember it, but just do that. And then when he comes back in the future, like, put in a different actor, be like, yeah, something changed through the multiverse. Boom, done, okay? In one line, and everybody's happy because we all know Ezra Miller has been doing some crazy, trashy things. So, yeah. Let me know in the comments below what you're thinking about DC and all this stuff going on there. I've been Cody from the Keepers Nerdum. Take care. Bye, y'all.